All right. Hello, actors. It's good to be back. Happy autumn 2020. Autumn is for art. Hashtag autumn is for art. It's time to create, time to get back into writing, rehearsing, filming, doing whatever you can to whatever capacity that you feel ready to be back at it. Let's, you know, get our boots on and get back to work. Yeah? Let's get back to work. Okay, today I want to talk about briefly, kind of a rant, sorry, but actors, I don't want to hear you ever again talk about learning your lines. All right? Learning your lines is such not even part of acting. It's literally, I want you guys to think of acting like putting on your shoes or brushing your teeth. You don't think about it. Yes, you brush your teeth, you have good hygiene. Yes, you put on your shoes and you go out and you go about your day. Okay? So, learning your lines is not something to talk about. It's not something to complain about. It's not something to give any sort of weight or power. Honestly, it's nothing. It's knowing your lines is when the work can begin. Okay, the work is not learning lines to deliver lines. You learn the lines because those are the tool. These are the words you have to affect the audience, to tell a story, to go through the character's journey and circumstances. So the lines are a given. A chef doesn't talk about all of the shopping that they have to do, all of the food orders they have to make. That's not even something that they talk about or complain about. It's just a given part of the job, and then they get to work. Okay? So please take your work up to the next notch. You're not worrying about your lines on set. You're not worrying about your lines in rehearsal. You go home, you learn them, and that's it. And then you get to work so that your work can grow, so that you can expand, so that you can, when you're in performance, in your performance, you obviously have your lines down. But when you're in rehearsal, you can jump into a sort of street view with your character. Get to know what your scene partner is doing. Be alive in this space. Be present. Let surprises happen. Okay, we're not thinking about what words we have to say. Okay, so I guess that's enough of me ranting. I want to keep this one short. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut over, and I'm going to show you guys how I learn lines, how I get off book. Okay, so we're going to do a short dialogue sequence and then a monologue. Both will be from John Guare's play, The House of Blue Leaves, one of my favorites. So we'll cut over there in a minute. I'll show you how I learn lines so that you guys can be on it, be ready to go, and you can be kind of the example for the next cast that you're in. You can bring the whole production up to the next level, and directors are going to want to work with you. They're going to want to bring you back. You're going to not have to audition for stuff as much because people will want to work with you. Cool. So we're going to do that right now. But first, if this is something that is useful to you, I am not monetizing this channel right now. There's no ads. I'm not doing Patreon or any of that. So if this is meaningful to you and you want to treat me to a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, you can straight up Venmo me $1, $2, $5, whatever this is worth to you. My handle is at Richard H. Pluim, Pluim. I'll put it in the description. If it's not that useful to you, don't worry about it. Please do like this video and share it with your fellow actors so that we can all get our work to the next place. And change theater. Let's evolve theater for the better. Let's all of us be better, so that we can fill some seats when the seats are ready to be filled again. Also, if you would like some private coaching from me, either with acting, with going to grad school, or with developing your career portfolio for New York or LA, you can go to my website, richardhpluim.me. I'll put that also in the description. And you can just send me a quick email and we'll go from there. Okay, enough of all this. Let's learn some lines. So let's look at this from The House of Blue Leaves. We're going to learn Artie's lines here. We'll start here. So we have Artie. We have Bananas is his wife, and then we have Bunny is his lover, who is kind of stepping into the front seat. So the plan, Bunny wants to get serious with with Artie. It's a big day in New York. The Pope's in town, and so Bunny thinks that this is a good omen, and the Pope's going to bless their new life together and Artie's music career. So the scene is Artie he has both of the women there in the apartment at the same time, and so he's telling Bananas that they're going to send her to a mental facility so that he can guilt-free go to California with Bunny. So okay, so we'll start with Artie here. I feel I only got about this much life left in me. Bananas, I got to use it. These are my peak years. I got to take this chance. Good. So then we have this kind of beat change here. You stay in your room. You're crying all the time. Ronnie's gone now. Ronnie is the son. This is not a creative atmosphere. Bananas, I'm too old to be a young talent. Okay? So if I was learning this line, I would kind of just practice from here, just this first beat. I feel I only got about this much life left in me. Bananas, I got to use it. These are my peak years. I got to take this chance. And I would just say that over and over. I feel I only got about this much life left in me. Bananas, I got to use it. These are my peak years. I got to take this chance. Okay, and I would just practice that over and over using the different intentions that I have with the script analysis that I've done. The key is, what is the thought here? So the thought is he's confronting his wife. He's making a plea, being honest. He feels like it's now or never. Okay? So I do that over and over and over. Then I would learn the second beat. You stay in your room. You're crying all the time. Ronnie's gone now. Okay, so these are all the reasons why staying sucks for Artie. Okay, you stay in your room. You're crying all the time. Ronnie's gone now. This is not a creative atmosphere. Bananas, I'm too old to be a young talent. Okay, so this isn't working. Okay, so we kind of have these two beats. Beat one up here is I'm getting over the hill. This is my last shot. And then beat two is this isn't working for me. So I practice the first beat, then I practice the second. And then I practice this transition. This is kind of the most important thing for actors, is what gets me from this thought to this one. These are my peak years. I got to take this chance. Okay, and so a lot can happen. You got to work with the director. You got to work with your scene partner. What comes to my mind is looking your wife in the eyes as Artie and saying, I got to take this chance, knowing that she would understand, and just kind of seeing, whatever she will give you, your scene partner, a feeling of betrayal, a feeling of not understanding, a feeling of, but we're married till death do us part, maybe remembering seeing her eyes on your wedding day and how this is not how 20 years later was supposed to look. And I think that it's something about not being able to stay on her, with her, that he has to kind of prove it to himself, really. You stay in your room, you're crying all the time. Okay, so the person I'm looking at, the soul I see in your eyes, that's not what I really get every day. So he has to kind of plead that, remind himself, and to take her down. You stay in your room, you're crying all the time. Okay, so I would just practice that, starting at, these are my peak years. These are my peak years. I got to take this chance. New breath, new thought. You stay in your room. You're crying all the time. Okay, so, and just practice that transition. So you have the first beat, the second beat, and then this transition. What gets me from the first beat to the second beat? Okay, much like a musician, they practice one phrase of a song, and then the next phrase, and then the transition from one to the next. All this stuff is the same, really. It's all beautiful and it's all the same principles. Okay, so then Bananas. I never stopped you all these years. Okay, so she's pleading to him. I never stopped you all these years. Like, this isn't my fault. And then Bunny chimes in. Be proud of it, Artie. Be proud to admit it, Artie. You were afraid till I came on the scene. Admit it with pride. Okay, so then Artie comes back in. I was never afraid. Okay, so what is it that makes him speak again? He's speaking to Bananas rather, sorry. He's speaking to Bananas, Banana says, I never stopped you all these years. He probably has something else to say to her, except Bunny chimes in. Be proud to admit it, Artie. You were afraid till I came on the scene. Admit it with pride. Artie, I was never afraid. Okay? So Bunny saying afraid, that's kind of the trigger that makes him speak. What is it that makes me speak? That's the thought. What's making me speak here? Okay? I was never afraid. What are you talking about? So now he's taken her down. Now his pride's really hurt. Poor Artie. It's so hard. And then Bunny, no man takes a job feeding animals in the Central Park Zoo unless he's afraid to deal with humans. Okay, so she's calling it like it is. Straight up, I'm your savior. I'm Bunny. I'm the hot young thing. Artie. So here we have afraid. 3 afraids. 2 from Bunny, 2 her man, and 1 from Artie. I was never afraid. So now his pride is being hurt. I walk right into the cage, he says. What do you mean? I got panthers licking out of my hands like goddamn pussycats. So he has to kind of fuel his ego. He kind of has to give himself this courage again. So he's distracted from his first objective, which is I gotta let Bananas agree to go to the mental home. Now he's dealing with Bunny, calling him afraid and having to prove his manliness. Okay, so that's what this whole next beat is. This line. I was never afraid. I walk right into the cage. I'm brave. Okay, so honestly, that would be enough for me. This beat is just all about being afraid. So you were afraid. That's the impetus. That's the pang that goes in his solar plexus, makes him breathe. Admit it with pride. I was never afraid. What are you talking about? Ask her the question. No man takes a job feeding animals in the Central Park Zoo unless he's afraid to deal with humans. Okay? So now she also gives us this animals and humans. I walk right into the cage. What do you mean? I got panthers, animals, licking out of my hands like goddamn pussycats. So another way to think about this is, well, animals are actually scarier than humans. Humans is just a phone call. And panthers, this thing could eat my hand and me. I know we all saw Tiger King this spring. God, why did I say Tiger King? Okay. Then Bunny, then why don't you ever call Billy? Billy is the friend who's supposed to give him a nice big job. I got family obligations. Okay, so I'll just stop it there with this one. So we see this dialogue. What's very important is, what is it that the other person says that makes me compelled to speak? Okay, once you know that, you're golden. Okay. Hopefully this was clear. Nice. If it's not clear, leave it in the comments and say, Richard, what are you talking about? You need to do this video over. All right, let's look at this Artie monologue here. We'll start it here and then continue down. So it's the same sort of thing, just finding the beats, beat 1, then beat 2, and then what is the transition between the 2 beats? So Banana says, there's just the roof upstairs. Yeah, and you know roofs well. Good, so this is what makes him speak, roofs. I give up 6 months of my life taking care of you, and one morning I wake up and you're gone, and all you got on is a nightgown and your bare feet. The corns of your bare feet for slippers. And it's snowing out, snow in a blizzard, and you're out in it. Good, so maybe this is a beat, maybe this too. Corns with your bare feet out in your slippers. And it's snowing out. Okay? I actually think this is all one beat because it's about it's cold. You know, I wake up, you're gone, all you got on is a nightgown and your bare feet for slippers. And it's snowing out. Snow in a blizzard and you're out in it. Good. Yeah, I think let's use this to beat. So I would do this whole thing from here. Roofs get me to speak. You know roofs well. I give up 6 months to take care of you. One morning I wake up, you're gone. All you got on is your nightgown and your bare feet. The corns of your bare feet for slippers. And it's snowing out. Snow in a blizzard and you're out in it. So I just repeat that over and over to myself out loud. Always learn your lines out loud, guys. Next beat. 24 hours you're gone and the police are up here and long since gone. And you're being broadcasted in for 13 states all covered with snow. Good. We have a dash here that the text gives us. I would also just use that as our beat change, and I'll tell you why. So next we have, and I look out that window and I see a gray smudge and a nightgown standing. Okay. So Artie's getting carried away. 24 hours you're gone. It's a long time. And the police are up here and long since gone. So it's been this huge ordeal. The police come. They take the notes and the missing persons report and all this stuff, and they leave. She's still gone. You're being broadcasted for 13 states, all covered with snow. So at this point, this is a great time as an actor. Gesture out. Use the space. Gesture out to the window of the apartment. You know, you're being broadcast in 13 states, all covered with snow. Where are all the states? Outside. Outside in the outside world. Covered with snow. So I look to the window, and then that window is what gives me the next thought. And I look out that window. Beautiful. There you are, looking out the window. And I see a gray smudge in a nightgown standing on the edge of the roof over there in a snowbank. Good. So then we have this other little, he's painting it even more. In a snowbank, and I'm praying to God I run out of this place across the street. Okay. And then how he goes to rescue her. Okay, so I learned the first beat, then learned the second one, the transition between them, and it's snowing out, snowing a blizzard, and you're out in it. 24 hours you're gone. Okay, so I would just kind of link the thought of, you know, she's out in it in the blizzard. For how long? 24 hours you're gone, and the police are up here. Okay, so that's the transition. Snow in a blizzard, and you're out in it. 24 hours you're gone. Okay, so that's the transition, and then practice the whole thing from the top all the way to here, all the way through. Boom, finish the first beat, finish the second beat. Cool. So now I have those two. Then I would begin the next beat, and I look out that window and I see the gray smudge in a nightgown. Okay, and then work on the transition. Broadcast for 13 states, all covered with snow, and I look out the window and I see a gray smudge in a nightgown. Okay. And then so you have 1 and 2, beats 1 and 2 down. Now we add beat 3. We work the transition between beat 2 and 3, and then practice 1, 2, and 3. Cool. Now we have 1, 2, and 3. Now let me add 4. Transition from 3 to 4, 4 to 5, and then do 3 through 5, and then 1 through 5, and so on. So you break it into the segments, and then link the segments. And always practicing this out loud, even from the beginning. It's actually literally a different part of your brain that's at work when you're speaking out loud versus trying to recall. I don't know what that actually is. I could probably look it up, but it's legit. Promise. Cool. So let's leave it there for now. This has gone on quite long enough. I hope this was useful for you. And please let me know in the comments if anything was unclear. I'll kind of recap it if not. And then also if it did work, let me know so I don't have to wonder if I need to make a new video. All right, everybody, have a good day. I'll talk to you soon.